The crystalline towers of Veldar Prime gleamed under three suns, their surfaces reflecting the desperation that had gripped the royal palace for weeks. Princess Zuraquin, heir to the throne of the Velthari Empire, lay trapped within a stasis chamber that had malfunctioned during what should have been a routine medical procedure. The Empire's finest engineers had failed. The galaxy's most renowned knights had tried and failed to breach the chamber's quantum-locked seals. Jack Morrison wiped grease from his hands onto his already stained coveralls and squinted at the ornate chamber before him. He didn't belong here among the gilded halls and aristocratic aliens. He was just a mechanic from Earth, hired to fix the palace's atmospheric recyclers. But when the Velthari guards had burst into his workshop, frantically demanding he follow them, Jack hadn't asked questions. "This is your expert." Lord Commander Thalrix's four eyes narrowed in disgust as he regarded the short, stubby human. "We've had the Krishan Paladins attempt this rescue. We've had Master Technician Vormak of the Cynthian Collective examine every circuit. What makes you think this grease monkey can succeed where they failed?" Emma-chan, the human ambassador to Veldar Prime, stepped forward with diplomatic grace. Her dark eyes flashed with controlled irritation. "Commander, I suggest you remember that Grease Monkey just fixed your life support systems last week when your finest engineers couldn't figure out why the oxygen mixers were failing." Jack appreciated Emma's defense, but he was already studying the chamber. The princess inside appeared peaceful, her lavender skin and flowing silver hair suspended in temporal stasis. Beautiful, yes, but Jack saw beyond aesthetics. He saw a problem to solve. "Talk me through what's happened," Jack said. Circling the chamber, the nervous Velthari technician stepped forward. The quantum locks engaged during the medical scan. They're designed to seal completely in case of contamination. But something corrupted the release protocol. The locks won't respond to any override codes. The Krishan Knights tried to force them open with plasma cutters. "Let me guess," Jack interrupted. "The metal just regenerated." "How did you know?" "Because it's a smart alloy. Responds to damage by reinforcing itself. You can't cut through it. You have to convince it to open." Jack ran his hand along the seal, feeling the microscopic vibrations. "What about Master Vormak's attempt?" "He tried to rewrite the lock's programming through the quantum substrate," Emma answered, consulting her datapad. "He said the code had become too entangled, like trying to untie a knot at the molecular level." Jack nodded, his mind already working. The galaxy's greatest minds had approached this with their most advanced technology and had failed. The Krishan Knights, 7-foot-tall warriors in power armor, had relied on brute force. The Cynthian Master Technician had attempted elegant digital solutions. They'd all missed the obvious. "How long does the princess have?" Jack asked. "The stasis field is stable, but her brain activity is beginning to show stress patterns," the technician replied. "Perhaps another solar cycle before permanent damage occurs." Jack knelt beside his tool bag, a battered Earth-made kit that looked primitive compared to the sophisticated Velthari equipment scattered around the chamber. He pulled out a blue and yellow aerosol can. Lord Commander Thalrix's mandibles clicked in disbelief. "What is that supposed to be? Some kind of human miracle device?" "In a way," Jack said, shaking the can. "We call it WD-40. Been using it for about 70 years back on Earth. Good for just about everything." Emma suppressed a smile. She'd seen Jack work before. While other species had developed increasingly complex solutions to engineering problems, humans had retained an appreciation for simple, effective tools. WD-40 was legendary among human mechanics, a penetrating oil and lubricant that seemed to fix half the problems in the universe. "You cannot be serious," Thalrix sputtered. "Our princess's life hangs in the balance, and you propose to spray her stasis chamber with lubricant." "Not just any lubricant," Jack corrected, examining the seal joints more closely. "See these microactuators along the seal? They're mechanical, not electronic. The quantum lock corrupted the release signal, sure, but these physical components still have to move for the chamber to open. After weeks of failed attempts, I'm betting they're seized up. Microscopic corrosion, maybe from all that plasma cutting." The smart metal repaired the surface damage but couldn't clear the internal mechanisms. He inserted the thin red straw into the WD-40 nozzle and began spraying carefully into the seal joints. The Velthari technicians watched with a mixture of horror and fascination as the clear liquid penetrated the microscopic gaps. The other problem, Jack continued, working methodically around the chamber, is that everyone's been trying to override the lock or break it. Nobody thought to just help it do what it's designed to do. Emma watched Jack work with quiet admiration. This was humanity's real strength, not overwhelming technology or superior force, but practical problem-solving born from fixing countless broken machines with limited resources. Earth's mechanics had learned to see problems differently, to find simple solutions that more advanced civilizations overlooked in their complexity. Jack finished treating the seals and pulled out a small rubber mallet from his kit. "Now what?" Thalrix demanded. "Now we wait about 3 minutes for the penetrating oil to do its job. Then we give these actuators a little encouragement." Jack checked his watch, an ancient mechanical timepiece that the Velthari found quaintly primitive. The 3 minutes felt like an eternity. The assembled crowd of Velthari nobles, technicians, and guards watched in tense silence. Emma stood beside Jack, projecting confidence she wasn't entirely sure she felt. When his watch beeped, Jack positioned himself at the chamber's primary seal joint and gave it a firm tap with the mallet. Then another. Working his way around the chamber, he tapped each joint in sequence. On the third circuit, something clicked. The quantum lock's indicator lights flickered from red to amber, then to green. The seals hissed softly as the actuators, now freed from their corrosion, smoothly retracted. The chamber opened with a whisper of equalizing pressure. Princess Zaraquin gasped as the stasis field released her, her silver eyes blinking in confusion. Medical staff rushed forward, but her vital signs were perfect. The throne room erupted in cheers. Lord Commander Thalrix stood speechless, his mandibles hanging open. Emma grinned at Jack. "I'm putting this in my report to Earth. Human saves alien princess with WD-40. They're never going to believe it." Jack packed away his tools, already thinking about the atmospheric recyclers that still needed fixing. "Back home, we've got a saying, if it doesn't move and it should, use WD-40. Works on Earth. Works here." Turns out good engineering is good engineering, no matter where you are in the galaxy. Princess Zaraquin approached the human mechanic, her recovery remarkably swift. "You saved my life with such a simple solution. How can the Velthari Empire repay you?" Jack shrugged. "Just doing my job, Your Highness. Though if you could put in a good word with your maintenance department about stocking more Earth tools, that'd be great. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways." As Jack left the throne room with Emma, the ambassador couldn't help but laugh. "You know this is going to become a legend, right? The human mechanic who succeeded where knights and masters failed, armed with nothing but a can of lubricant and common sense." "Good," Jack replied with a crooked smile. "Maybe next time they'll call us humans first instead of last. We might not have the fanciest technology in the galaxy, but we know how to make things work." Behind them, the Velthari were already composing songs about the day a simple human tool had accomplished what the galaxy's greatest champions could not. And in workshops across 100 worlds, mechanics would soon be ordering cases of something called WD-40, wondering if perhaps humanity's greatest export wasn't their technology, but their practical wisdom. Sometimes, the universe didn't need a hero with a plasma sword or a genius with quantum algorithms. Sometimes it just needed someone who understood that even the most complex problems could have wonderfully simple solutions. And sometimes, it just needed WD-40.